Hi all, just a quick video on oil coolers and your oil pump extension. Now, this is the relief valve that is in the oil pump extension. And that's basically what you see at the bottom of the oil pump extension. Here's one I've cleaned up earlier. Alright, filter housing. That bolt there, which it's, excuse the camera, orientation is about that, so it's underneath. You'll see the brass knob hanging underneath. Now what this does is twofold. One, when it's cold, this is an expansion tube. When it heats up that pin there, expands out. Right. Now when it's cold, what it does is allow oil to bypass the cooler and go straight through to the filter. The valve is open. You can see in there where the valve seat would fit. Just get the light just right. Down there you can see that. Right. It's the valve seat. Now that's open, allowing the oil to come through this side here into the filter and then obviously out through the center into your engine. As it warms up and your engine oil gets hotter, the expansion tube here comes out, pushing the valve shut, thereby making all the oil go through the cooler to keep it cool. Now, as I say in the cooking shows, here's one I prepared earlier, stripped down and cleaned. You can see this is the valve seat there. I think we'll refocus on it, sorry. That pushes on that section inside the filter extension. Inside, down onto here, if you can take this apart, as I've done here, that little circlip there holds everything in place. That's in under there. You can just see it there, where my thumb around the bottom ring section, right down the bottom there. Get it out and give it a good clean, but look, be careful. Take this E-clip off first. Take the spring off. So there's your E-clip. The valve seat. Spring. Okay. And then this is at the bottom. So that goes in basically that order, like that. Okay, now once you get those off, you can actually see that spring circlip down in there. But when you do, oh, damn thing, refocus. When you do get it off, you can just see it on the outside there. Right down the bottom. That in there, you can see that ring there on the inside. That's where that clip goes. So you can dig it out. I've scored a little bit there, but that'll clean up okay. But be careful, because that will go flying if you're don't hold it captive. She'll go visit the International Space Station if you don't keep an eye on it. All right. Once you get it out, then that section is what's underneath. Those top springs go on there. Then you've got the bottom spring, the bottom cup, and the bottom washer. Now, again, that's how it works. Now, this thing is twofold. One, okay, when your oil has warmed, is cold, it is retracted. It bypasses the oil cooler. As soon as the oil warms up to its set temperature, this expands, closes the valve off so that you're getting oil now running through the oil cooler, keeping the engine oil cool. Now, if your oil cooler is blocked or won't allow the oil to flow through, that's what that's for. The oil pressure will push that back to bypass the oil cooler if the oil cooler is blocked. So if your oil cooler is not working properly, or you suspect it's not working properly, two things. One, this could be clogged itself, so you pull it apart, give it a good clean, and make sure that the expansion tube does work. Now, I'll show you that in a minute. I'll just use the heat gun, but you can try it with your wife's bloody hairdryer if you don't tell her. Yeah. But look, it'll work. But if that's blocked and it's not working properly, that won't close off the oil to the oil, so the oil cooler gets the oil, so that won't work. Or if your oil cooler is blocked, that will push back and bypass the oil cooler as well. So those two things you need to check when if you're having problems with the oil cooler. Best to always have your oil cooler on. They're there for a reason, and this setup is set up like that. So yes, it's a bypass valve, but it's also a blocking valve as well. Now I'll just turn the oil cooler on, and just watch there. You'll be able to put the heat on it, and you'll see that expand. Try and get it to focus. You should be able to see as that warms up, that bottom cup separate away. There you go, see that? Separating away, pushing the valve out, closing it off into the housing. And as it cools, the spring pressure underneath, which is held in by that little circlip, I'll use some cool air on the other side. Sorry about the camera work. I'll blow some cold air on it. Right, there. So that's the oil pressure relief valve. Okay. And like I said, that piece there screws in. Mind my camera work here. A bit hard with one hand. Into there. Now we're on the subject of these bolts for your oil cooler pipe. Don't just use copper washers. It won't work. Okay. It won't work. You need to use these things. Get the genuine one. They're a crush washer, but that black thing in the middle is rubber ring. And they're a tight seal on the actual bolt itself. So get the genuine item, otherwise you're just forever going to be having leaks there. Copper washer might work in the short term, but it won't be permanent. Okay. Hope this clears a little bit up on your oil coolers.